Hey Bills Mafia, this is Buffalo Louie with the keys to the game for the Buffalo Bills, the 3-0 Buffalo Bills against the 1-2 Baltimore Ravens tomorrow, Sunday. The 29th of September, and it's going to be the Sunday night game, the 8:20, I think the 8:20 game. Hey, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention about last week's game. We were there. The Bills demolished Jacksonville Jags. 47-10. My prediction was right on, 41-10. Not bad when the pundits, all national pundits, and even the local beat reporters, they had it all as a close game. Most of them had the Bills picking the game, but they all had it close. Josh was the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Not bad. The first week or so was the Defensive Player of the Week. In the second week, James Cook was the Offensive Player of the Week, and now Josh. Not bad. He had four passing touchdowns in the first half to four different receivers and running backs, and he had five in the first five possessions touchdowns. So the Bills were up 34-3 in the first half. Sayonara at the rest of that game. Hey, the keys to the game. But first, I got to let you know some information here. The Bills lead the league in scoring, averaging a little more than 34 points. They've scored 112 points so far this year. They've only allowed 48. That's a plus 64. And if you count the last two quarters, because it took them a while after the first half of the Arizona game, the opener, they allowed 17 points. I think they've only allowed 21 in the last 10 quarters. Not bad. Hey, the defense is going to be key, especially because our defense has been playing great. But against Lamar, I think that to be able to contain him, in the past we've done a good job the last two times that we faced him. In October of 22, we wound up winning that game 23-20, and we were down 20-3 at halftime. It was similar weather. It was pouring. Well, I think it was worse weather than they're predicting. It rained the whole time. This weather, we had a hurricane coming, probably similar. It's not going to be cold, it's not going to be windy, but it's going to be raining and it's going to be slippery. I think the ball will be fine, the receivers, but you can get turnovers. In that game, the defense played great. We got a couple of turnovers from Lamar, key interceptions by Poyer in the second half, one in the end zone, and wound up winning that game on the last drive of the game with a field goal by Bass. So the defense, McDermott's defense, his coaching, and Babich, who was there. Now Babich is calling the plays. They've done a good job, and they're much more experienced than the first-year defensive coordinator for the Ravens. Never called games. This is only his third game he's called. The previous defensive coordinator did a great job and went and became the head coach at another NFL team. So I look for the Bills to be able to contain him. They've done a pretty decent job on Henry. So I think that both Byron Spector and Williams are going to do, even though they're filling in for Milano and TB, I think they're going to do a good job because they've been with us a while. They're well taught. They've grown with the Bills, right? They should be able to handle the situation. The second key is to get off to an early lead. I went back and looked at my keys from the October game of 22, and it was the same thing, get off to an early lead. Well, they had Dorsey as the coordinator, and the offense was just not the same. It's so much easier with Brady calling these plays and getting easy plays, easy passes for Josh. Look for the offense to score. I can't see a reason why Baltimore is going to stop the Bills on offense. Especially the passing defense for the Ravens. I think they're going to use a similar game plan as the Jacksonville. Baltimore's defense, I think, is if they're not the last, they're close to the last in giving up yards and passing as well as explosive plays. So I think Josh is going to be able to move the ball, and he's going to be able to play safe. And I think Brady is going to scheme up some open players because they got 6-7 guys that can catch the ball and be playmakers. I think the other thing is, again, key would be to pass first, like I said, and it'll free up the running game. And I think the Bills will be able to move the ball on the ground, but I think they're going to be more effective when they want to run. And obviously there'll be some scrambles or maybe some called running plays, quarterback draws for Josh. I think there'll be the keys of the game will be there'll be opening in the middle of the field, especially for tight ends and running backs in the middle of the field. The other key is the offensive line to protect Josh. I think you got to do it, especially the interior part of the line. Josh has only been sacked once and has done a good job. You just don't want, and they've done a good job with only 5, and 5 protecting him. So we'll see how it goes. I think Josh will be able to be effective in the pocket and avoid sacks, but I think the offensive line has done an outstanding job. And so we'll be able to run the ball also. Hey, my predictions. The Bills are going to hold Baltimore to their lowest rushing output of the season, which I think is 145 yards. I think the defense is going to do that. Lamar is going to have at least 1 turnover. The last 2 games he's played, he had two turnovers, 2 costly turnovers, interceptions in the October 22 game, and then the wild card game, the divisional game in the 2020 season. He threw a pick 6 to Taron Johnson, if you all remember that. And Taron was in the end zone and ran it all the way back, and that was it, 17-3. I think the Bills will also have the most rushing touchdowns or rushing yards against Baltimore in this game. 75 or more yards. They haven't given up more than 75 yards. Look for the Bills to do that, and I wouldn't be surprised if Josh is the leading rusher. And the Bills win 31-17. They're going to get out to an early lead, even though it's raining. You know that you've seen Josh throw the ball in the rain, especially that Eagles game last year. He was driving the ball. It doesn't stop him. So I look for that to happen. And by the way, the Ravens and Lamar is not built to come from behind, right? If the Lamar has to throw the ball more than 30 times, 25, 30, 40 times, they're not going to win. And our back 7 does a good job containing, keeping everything in front of you, not giving up explosive plays. So where else would you rather be? Right here, right now, but the 4-0 Bills. Go Bills.